What is going on, everybody? My name is Nick, and I want to welcome you back for another album review. Naturally, for me, as just a fan of Foreman and the girls associated with that group, it is a requirement for me to do a review of the fifth mini album, I believe it is, from HyunA, titled Awesome. And the title of it is definitely following that whole A trends that are going with the names of her mini albums. You got A Talk, A Plus, something or other. That's the way it goes. It seems to be the trend of the titles. And, the title, now that I think about it, the title of the song kind of ties into what the general theme and style and feeling of the songs and the music are. And with this album, in the case of this album, it's more that it ties in with all of the title tracks kind of tie in a way, but that's definitely not the case when we get into the album. We'll talk about that coming up next. So to lead this off, I have to say that How's This, the promo song for this album, is my least favorite song on the album. My least. Because honestly, after listening to it, I think this is probably one of the weaker songs that HyunA has ever released as a soloist. It's not that great. I mean, it's definitely got a lot of interesting aspects of it, but, looking at it as a whole, all the different parts combined, it could be a lot better, could be a lot smoother, because the cramming of, the three just drastically different sort of sounds and parts to it together without any particularly smooth transitions between all of those parts makes it seem like it's a bit of a jumbled mess, which isn't really a bad thing, but at the same time, it just makes it so the song is, it doesn't quite reach up to what its potential could be. And, it's great. But then you listen to the rest of the album, and then it becomes kind of obvious, or became obvious to me at least, that How's This was supposed to be the only reason why How's This really exists is to promote the album. Because it's got that attitude, it's got the visual, it's got the thing that everyone kind of really associates with HyunA, and that is the thing that you have to present to market a brand new album and your new music, because otherwise, it's very likely that people won't be interested, I feel. I understand that, but, that's just the way it is. So the good thing with that, though, is that it gets people listening very well, has pulled people in and got people interested in listening to the rest of the album, which is really, really great. So, but the thing is, though, when you listen to the album, right, the album tracks, the rest of the album, it doesn't have the same sort of feel that How's This does. It's a big step back from the badass attitude in the promotion song, and a little bit to do in a little bit of the badass attitude from her previous releases. Or from her previous albums. Those songs and albums were, much more badass and had more attitude than the songs on this album do. And that's not really a bad thing, of course. It's just a thing to note. I actually enjoy it. I really do. And if I was going to compare it really to any sort of album, it's kind of a mesh between, the attitude and the feeling that she's had in her last three albums and the Melting album. It's kind of a bit like that. Really good. It's good. It's definitely something that is awesome. I personally am really, really enjoying it. So moving from that, just a general sort of talk, let's highlight a couple of songs. First off, we gotta talk about the first song on the album, titled You and Me, and it's a really, really awesome track to be number one on the album. It's a good rap song. It's not it doesn't have the aggression and attitude that How's This does, but it also is, to an extent, kind of carries it some sort of feel. Although I do have to say it probably has a bit more of a pop song kind of feel to it. But like I say with everything, it's not really a bad thing. It's not really a criticism. It's like I said, it's a great number one track, and the flow of that song from start to finish is really, really great. But you go from You and Me to How's This as song number two, and that transition right there is crazy. Because of course they're two completely different songs. And then you go from How's This into my favorite song on the entire album, which is titled Do It. And when you listen to the first verse of the song, you think it's going to be a killer rap song, because it starts off like that. It starts off really, really good. It starts off sounding like it's going to be, the second most aggressive and, attitude-filled song on the album. But the chorus takes an unexpected turn. The chorus is absolutely unexpected because it completely changes to a pop song. It just goes, we're going from, some pretty badass rap over to, pop. Not really like, bubblegum kind of pop to the extent that like bubble pop was, but it's pushing it. It's getting really close to that. Really, really close to being something similar to bubble pop. And it's it's a shock to me. But the thing is though that it's a really, really great blend of music. I think that at least the execution of that is really, really great. And I didn't know when I initially started listening to this that Blackpink was going to be doing something similar to that. But I do have to say that this song, as far as combining those two sounds and genres, are so much better than Blackpink. It's crazy. Like YG. I don't know why YG Entertainment couldn't have executed their combination of rap and pop into something that's as seamless and great as Do It. I don't know, but they didn't do it. I was not on purpose, but it's a really great song. And then the final song that I want to highlight is Wolf, because it's like as I say, and when you listen to a lot of K-pop albums, of course, you kind of get to know that every single K-pop album has to end with a ballad of some sort, and Wolf fills that ballad requirement. Although, of course, it's not like an actual ballad song. That's not what HyunA does. She doesn't sing. Are you crazy? She raps. That's what she does, and it definitely has it. It's not a ballad sort of song, but it fills that requirement because it is a laid back, not really emotion, but it's definitely much more like sensual and kind of sexy, kind of sounding rap and song, and it's really awesome. The only thing that I have to say though is that it features HyunA, which is not a criticism. It's just a mention. It features HyunA, and what that means is that for me, listening to the song, it feels like HyunA is like half asleep while she's singing her parts to the song, and then HyunA brings the energy. He's the one who is the bright spot in the song, and HyunA just feels like that she was just forced to be in the recording studio and sung the lines while she was falling asleep. That's what it sounds like to me. It's not really a bad thing though, because it's kind of like it fits with the whole thing that this is supposed to be filling the whole like ballad requirement for an album. So being a bit laid back and sleepy, I guess you can say, as a rap song is kind of goes hand in hand with that kind of style. So overall, like I said, the album is great. I really think it's awesome. I think too that the slight little tweak and change in what the toning down of the music to be different, I guess, from the previous couple albums is really, really awesome. So my ultimate rating for this album, which of course is based on how I would spend my money on this, and it's definitely, I'm buying the physical copy of this. I'm not saying I'm buying it. Of course I'm buying it, because like, was there any doubt that I was gonna buy it? But it's a really great song. I would say that this is probably one of her best albums ever, right? So of course, why wouldn't I buy that, right? And on top of that, of course, or to tie into it being her best album ever, I'm really, really enjoying this one much more than her previous 2 or 3 albums. So that's definitely something that is good. I really appreciate. Obviously I like it. So there you go. That's my review. That's my my suggestion, my rating, whatever stuff. I kind of butchered this outro, but that's it. That's all I gotta say. I want to know what you thought of this album. If you haven't listened to it, you definitely should, because it's good. And I got some recommendations there for you to start with, which is like basically the entire album, other than 2 songs, which are also quality songs as well. So let me know what you thought of this album and stuff down in the comments below. And if you like this video and you want to see more in the future, hit the subscribe button so that you stay updated with every single video that I upload in the future. So that is going to be it for this video. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Interested in that, but the couple of points that I've got, first off, the thing that I'm really liking about this song is that, I don't know if you could hear it, but there is definitely a lot of like EDM and music influence in this song, especially during the build up to the chorus and the chorus itself.